Good morning, students. Welcome back to first year, plus two first year, English. Today, we shall discuss a poem. The name of the poem is Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening, written by Robert Frost. Okay, now let's move to the next page. That is, stopping by. What did I say? Stopping by woods on a snowy evening. Yes, this is 1 minute. Yes, stopping by woods on a snowy evening. This is the name of the poem we are going to read. Yes, this one. Stopping ରହିବା woods jungle on a snowy evening. बरफाच्छन्न संध्या. Written by Robert Frost. Introducing the author. Robert Lee Frost, who lived from 1874 to 1963, is one of the most popular, जनप्रिय and critically acclaimed दावेदार American poets. He is highly, there were other acclaimed American poets and Robert Frost was one of them. He is highly regarded, सम्मानित होइतले, उच्च सम्मानित होइतले for his realistic depiction, realistic वास्तव depiction वर्णना, narration, explanation or explanation of rural life, is a पल्ली जीवन, and his comment of American colloquial speech, आम जोड़ा कहे कि मफसलिया भाषा कि प्रचलित भाषा colloquial speech, his poetry reveals प्रकाश करे a keen interest, प्रबल आग्रह in the varying beauties, विभिन्न प्रकार सौंदर्य of nature, and the apparently आपाततः small but deeply meaningful, गभीर अर्थपूर्ण joys and sorrows of ordinary men and women. So his poems are related to the meaningful joys and sorrows of ordinary men and women. Now let's move to the next page. Before that, yes, next page. This is the next page. This one is the next page. Wait, just 1 minute. So first let's have the summary of the. We shall do it. Wait. Yes, here mark. What warm up? Do you know this poem was a great favorite of Jawaharlal Nehru? You know who is the Jawaharlal Nehru, the first Prime Minister of India, and it was his first, and it was his favorite poet. Perhaps this poem reminded whom? This poem reminded him, ତାଙ୍କ ମନେ ପକେଇ ଦେଉଥିଲା whom? To Jawaharlal Nehru of his responsibility, ତାଙ୍କ ଦାୟିତ୍ୱ ତାଙ୍କ ମନେ ପକାଇ ଦେଉଥିଲା. Would understand? ତାଙ୍କ ଦାୟିତ୍ୱ ତାଙ୍କ ମନେ ପକାଇ ଦେଉଥିଲା. So perhaps this poem reminded him of his responsibilities, ତାଙ୍କ ଦାୟିତ୍ୱ. On the surface, ଉପର ଠାଉରିଆ ଭାବେ ଦେଖିଲେ, this is a simple poem, very simple. It looks very simple, it appears very simple, but actually it is not so. It is very meaningful, it is very deep in meaning. The speaker stops, the speaker means the poet stops his horse, ता घोड़ा रखिछन्ति अटकाइछन्ति by some woods, jungle, on a snowy evening, गोटे बरफाच्छन्न संध्या समय तांकर घोड़ाटा रखि अटकाइछन्ति. Who? The poet. He takes in the lovely scenes in a near silence. He is tempted to stay longer. Being tempted, pralovito hoi, being attracted by the scene, lovely scenes of the wood, he stayed there for a while, but acknowledges the pull of obligation, but retreats from it, but moves back from his stopping. Royal फेरी जाइछन्ति because acknowledge the pull of obligation. तांकर किसी काम करियार अछि, बाध्यता अछि, तो and the considerable distance yet to be travelled before he can rest. See, विश्राम नेबा पूर्वरु he has a lot of duties to do. He has a lot of miles to go. These are the obligations. These are the things which pulled the writer from stopping there furthermore for the night. But at the deeper level, in Gabiratam Pradesh, the journey through the woods is suggestive of a journey through life itself. The speaker stops for a brief time, किछि समय रहिजन to meditate, ध्यान देबाको, and realizes that he needs to continue, से ताको जारी रखिया पड़ियो his journey. The famous phrase all miles to go before I sleep, मो आखि मुझिया पूर्व अनेक रास्ता चलिबाको अछि, अनेक यात्रा करियाको अछि, not only refers to physical distance, योडे distance को मन बुझोने of the trip, but also the long life ahead of him. Read the poem and feel how inspiring it is. Inspiring, प्रेरणादायक. Like, so let's have it's a summary first, so that we can understand the text easily. Yes, this is the summary. Yes, this one. This is the summary. One day, the poet was returning to his farm. Who was returning to his farm? The poet was returning to his farm. Right? One day, the poet was returning to his farm on the horseback. He stopped in a jungle. He stopped his horse in a jungle. It was a snowy evening. Time was evening and the weather was snowy. There was snow everywhere. The weather was chilly. Very situa pagotilla. Yet the poet stopped there and went on enjoying the grand and splendid treasure or grand and splendid beauty of the nature. Could understand what was the time? The time was evening. Right? Is it proper time to stay and enjoy? No, it is not proper time, appropriate time. It is an odd time. Still, the poet stopped his horse and started enjoying the beauty of the nature, grand beauty or splendid beauty of the nature. Next, the poet thought that the owner of the woods would not know, Janipariwani, that the poet had stopped there, because why anyone could believe that a person could enjoy the beauty of nature in a odd hour. No one would believe it. That is why the owner of the wood would not know that the poet had stopped there, because he was resting in his village, and that village was just a little far from the jungle, just a little away from the jungle. He would never think that a man could stop. The owner could never think that a man would stop at this odd hour to enjoy he would never think that a man would stop in the jungle in such a cold, snowy and odd evening. Could understand? That would do only to watch the woods fill with snow. Could understand? The poet is unsure about his horse. The poet stopped the horse there, but he was not bothered about the horse. What the horse was thinking, what the horse was doing. This animal was very impatient, with others. He would never take the poet's stopping by woods in a snowy evening easily. The horse did not take it easy, because it was a horse, it was an animal. He had no sense of aesthetic, or he had no sense of enjoying beauty. But as the poet did, he might think that the poet had stopped in the jungle by mistake. The poet thinks. The horse might have thought that the poet had stopped. The poet had stopped in the jungle by mistake. It was without purpose. So he would shake his bell restlessly, continuously. Continuously, he shook his bell to attract his attention and say that you are wrong. Come to the reality. Don't stop here. It is not the right time. It is an odd hour. So, could understand? Next, now let's move to the next one. Yes, that is yes. The poet watched the lovable nature in a snowy evening. Yes, the poet enjoyed when everything is cheerless. Even the woods are attractive. When every sound is dead, even there was the sound of the wind and fall of the snow. Everything was dead. There was no sound. Everything looked cheerless. Nirananda dekha. Still, there was the sound of the wind. Could understand? There was the sound of the wind and fall of snow. The sight overwhelmed. Overwhelmed means attracted, fascinated. Overwhelmed means fascinated. ପୁରା ତାଙ୍କୁ ବିମୋହିତ କରିଦେଇଥିଲା. He wished to stay there permanently. ଚିରଦିନ ପାଇଁ ସେ ରହିବାକୁ ସେ ଇଚ୍ଛା ପ୍ରକାଶ କରିଥିଲେ. And to watch the eternal ଚିର ସୌନ୍ଦର୍ଯ୍ୟ. Eternal, you know, ଚିର ସୌନ୍ଦର୍ଯ୍ୟ of the eternal beauty of nature ceaselessly, without stop, non-stop. Could understand? Next one is, yes, just 1 minute. Yes, the next moment the poet realized the reality. ବାସ୍ତବଟାକୁ ଉପଲବ୍ଧ କରିସାରିଲେ. ଦି ରୋମାଣ୍ଟିକ୍ ଫେଭର ତାଙ୍କ ମନରେ ଯେଉଁ ରୋମାଣ୍ଟିକ୍ ଫେଭର ଥିଲା has departed from him. He has been duty conscious. ସେ ତାଙ୍କର କର୍ତ୍ତବ୍ୟ ପରାୟଣ ହୋଇ ଉଠିଲେ. So the next moment the poet realizes the reality. Romantic fervor has departed him. He has been the poet thought that no, it's not by mistake. The next moment the poet realizes the reality. The romantic fervor has departed him. He has been duty conscious. ସେ ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ ତାଙ୍କର କର୍ତ୍ତବ୍ୟ ପରାୟଣ ହୋଇ ଉଠିଲେ. ଡ୍ୟୁଟି କନସିୟସ୍. ହି ରିଟ୍ରିଟେଡ୍ ଫେରିଲେ, ପଳାୟନ କଲେ. ମୁଭ୍ଡ ବ୍ୟାକ୍. ରିଟ୍ରିଟେଡ୍ ମିନ୍ସ ମୁଭ୍ଡ ବ୍ୟାକ୍. ରିଟ୍ରିଟେଡ୍ ହିମ୍ ଫ୍ରମ୍ ଦି ଡ୍ରିମ୍ ୱାର୍ଲଡ. ଏଇ ଯେଉଁ ସ୍ୱପ୍ନର ପୃଥିବୀରୁ ସେ ନିଜକୁ ଦୂରେଇ ଦେଲେ, ଫେରି ଆସିଲେ. He said, no doubt the woods are lovely, dark and deep, but he can't stop there permanently, for ଯେହେତୁ he had promised to keep. ତାଙ୍କର ଅନେକ ପ୍ରତିଶ୍ରୁତି ସେ ପାଳନ କରିବାକୁ ପଡ଼ିବ. He had miles to go. ତାଙ୍କର ଅନେକ ରାସ୍ତା ଅଛି, ଯାତ୍ରା କରିବାକୁ ପଡ଼ିବ. He had to perform a lot of duties for himself, for family, for the society. ନିଜ ପାଇଁ, ପରିବାର ପାଇଁ, ସୋସାଇଟି ପାଇଁ ତାଙ୍କର ଅନେକ ଡ୍ୟୁଟି ଅଛି to perform. ପରିବେଷଣ କରିବାକୁ ଅନେକ କର୍ତ୍ତବ୍ୟ ଅଛି କରିବାକୁ. He is full of cares and burdens. ତାଙ୍କର ମଧ୍ୟ ଅନେକ cares and burdens ଅଛି. He has to walk miles before sleep. ଶେଷ ନିଦ୍ରା, ଶେଷ ଆଖି ବା ଶେଷ ନିଦ୍ରା ନେବା ପୂର୍ବରୁ ଅନେକ ଜିନିଷ କରିବାର ଅଛି. and ଅନେକ ରାସ୍ତା ଚାଲିବାର ଅଛି. Life is uncertain, you know. Death is certain. Life is uncertain. How long we will stay, we live, we can't say. But one day we must die. This is certain. Man is mortal, you know. Once you born means you have to die. Sleep must devour each. ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କୁ ଆମେ ଏଇ ଯେଉଁ କାଳ ନିଦ୍ରାର କରାଳ ଗ୍ରାସରେ ଆମେ ଦିନେ ଭକ୍ଷଣ ହେଇଯିବା. one day sooner or later, ଆଜି ନୁହେଁ ତ କାଲିକି. but before permanent sleep, chira nidra purbaru silences your before permanent sleep silences your action. Tamara action ko silence करिया पूर्व you must walk the longest distance. तमें अनेक रास्ता चली जाइते पड़िबो. Try to fulfill more and more desires. अनेक अभिलाष जेते पारिबो सेते अभिलाष पूरण करो. So that at the time of death मरिया पूर्वरु मरिया समय रे you can't have unfulfilled wishes. Thus the poet is extraordinarily meaningful. Yes, the poet is very right. This summary is somewhat extracted from the text guide in Nalanda publication. Yes, now let's move to the next page. What is that? This one. Warm up activities, right? So, do you know this poem was a great favorite of Jawaharlal Nehru? Right, this poem was Jawaharlal Nehru. We have already discussed it. Now let's move to the text. Whose ursu there are, I think I know. Kar is ursu means you know. Ursu means jungle. Ursu means an area of a tree smaller than a forest. Ursu means it is a forest but a smaller forest. It is full of trees. So whose ursu कार जंगल these are I think I know ମୁଁ ଜାଣିଛି ମୁଁ ଭାବୁଛି ମୁଁ ଜାଣିଛି. His house is in the village through in the village though his house is in the village. He will not see me stopping here. से देखी परिबे नहीं to watch his woods fill up with snow. Right? So the poet says that I know the owner of this forest. And the owner lives in a village. He would not see me stopping here and to watch his woods, which is filled up with snow. Next, my little horse. Whose little horse? The poet's little horse must think it queer, must think it is strange. My stopping, the poet thinks that his horse might be thinking that it is strange to stop here at an odd hour to enjoy the beauty of nature or enjoy the beauty of the wood. My little horse must think it is queer, it is strange to stop without a farmhouse near. As there is no farmhouse, it is not proper to stop here. Who do you think might have thought it? The horse of the poet. Between the woods and the frozen lake. So, to stop between the woods and frozen lake is not proper. Now, the darkest evening of the year. This is the darkest evening. Could understand? But that means the poet stopped his horse and stopped himself in the wood in an inappropriate hour, that is odd hour. Generally, in those hours, nobody would stop and enjoy the beauty of the nature. Next, he gives his harness bell. Who gives a harness bell? That means the horse gives, shakes his bell. Belch a shake, gives his harness bell a shake to ask if there is some mistake. So the horse, do you know what did the horse do? The horse thought that why my owner stopped here at this odd hour? Perhaps he had made a mistake. He had miscalculated. That's why in order to make conscious aware of the fact that you have made a mistake, you should not stop here at this hour. To realize the poet his mistake, to ask if there is some mistake. The only other sounds the sweep of easy wind and downy flag. There was a little humble, ordinary, queer, strange harness bell, you know, small bells attached to a strap bound around the neck of horse, which tinkles as the horse moves, tinkles tuck sound, tuck tick tick sound to flag pieces of snow which are soft, light and white as feathers. So downy तळକୁ ଖସି ପଡ଼ିଥିବା flake snows. Next, the woods are lovely. Yes, the woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have a promise to keep. No doubt, woods are lovely to watch, and we have to enjoy it. But we should have a time. But as we have a promise to keep, ଆମେ ପ୍ରତିଶ୍ରୁତି ଦେଇଛେ. We have no time to stay here and enjoy the beauty of the woods. And miles to go before I sleep. ତ ଅନେକ ରାସ୍ତା ଅଛି, ମୁଁ ମରିବା ପୂର୍ବରୁ ଅନେକ ରାସ୍ତା ଯିବାକୁ ଅଛି. ସୋ ଆଇ ହାଭ୍ ଏ ଲଟ୍ ଅଫ୍ ୱାର୍କ ଟୁ ଡୁ ଫର୍ ମି, ଫର୍ ମାଇ ଫ୍ୟାମିଲି, ଫର୍ ମାଇ ସୋସାଇଟି. ସୋ ଆଇ କାଣ୍ଟ ଷ୍ଟେ ହିୟର୍ ଏନି ଲଙ୍ଗର. And miles to go before I sleep. The poet realized the reality. And now let's know what happened then. Yes, that is the end of the text. Now let's have a glossary. Shabdapunja, woods, an area of tree smaller than a forest, little, humble, ordinary, queer, strange, harness bell. Yes, that is small bells attached to a strap bent around the neck of horse which tinkles as the horse moves. Next, flag, pieces of snow which are soft, light and white as feathers, feather para bhaliya. Next, easy wind and downy flake, easy flowing wind and down falling snow. Miles, a distance of 1.6 kilometers. Miles implies a long distance. Next one is, that is yes, lovely, dark and deep. Right, only the poet is fascinated, ବିମୋହିତ. Poet ବିମୋହିତ ହୋଇ ପଡ଼ିଥିଲେ. Right, fascinated. 1 minute. Lovely, dark and deep, that is, lovely, dark and deep, only the poet is fascinated, ବିମୋହିତ by the woods, the owner who is practical and the horse which is subhuman are not. Next one is, that is 5. Question answer. Yes, this is the question and answer. Now let's have a question answer section. How is woods different from forest? Here is a question. How is woods different from the forest? So woods means growing trees densely occupying a tract of land. It is the forest is the woods means growing trees densely occupying a tract of land. It is not as large as forest, but a forest is a vast stretch of land densely covered with trees, fit for wild beasts, right? So wood is a forest and woods is a forest, but it is a smaller forest. The forest is densely grown and fit for the wild beasts, but it is not. Next one is, that is, where does the rider stop? Could understand? Where does the rider stop? Yes, the rider stops between the woods and the frozen lake. It is given, right? And the next one is, why does he stop? He stops to watch and admire the beauty of the snowy evening of the forest. Next, which is, why does he stop? He will not see me stopping here. What does this expression mean? That means the expression says that the owner of the wood or forest won't see the poet stopping in the wood. Next one is that is 1 minute. Number 5. Why does the horse give his harness bell a shake? Just to make the poet understand that he was stopping at an odd hour, at a wrong point at an odd hour, and to make realize it. Next one is, what is the only other sound besides that of harness bell? The only beside the harness bell, the only other sound was the sweep of this easy wind and downy flank. Next one is number 7. That is number 7. Yes, this is number 7. Why does the poet use the expression dark, deep, and darkest? The poet used expression dark, deep, darkest to match with the nature of the wood in the snowy evening. They depict the natural picture of the woods. Next, how does the speaker, the owner of the woods, and the horse react to the beauty of nature? That is, the speaker has an aesthetic view of the woods. He felt charmed at its sight in the snowy evening. Aesthetic. 1 minute. That is aesthetic. सौंदर्यग्राही. So aesthetic view of the woods. Okay. The owner of the woods had a business mentality over the woods. He is realistic, materialistic, and profit motivated. Third one is, the horse is least concerned about the jungle's beauty. He has nothing to do with the beauty of the jungle. Poetic sensitivity. The horse has no poetic sense. He feels disgusted विरक्त होता at the post stopping near the horse. Next, what picture of nature beauty do you get from the poem? Yes, that is the sense of beauty differs from the person to persons, right? So here the poet fell in love with the beauty of the woods in a snowy evening, the frozen lake, the sound of the easy wind, downy fleck, deep and dense woods. Next one is that it is 10. In the final stanza, the speaker says that he is not yet ready to sleep. What has he to do before he can take rest? Yes, the poet says he is not yet ready to sleep. He has promises to keep and miles to go. Next one is before he sleeps. Next one is 11. That is just 1 minute. 11. A 4-line stanza is called a quatrain. How many quatrains are there in the poem? Right? So, what does the expression 10? Oh, this is the 10, 10, double 10 is a wrong number. What does the expression the darkest evening of the year suggest? Does it mean the longest night of the year or the most depressing state of mind? Give a regional answer. So this is the darkest evening of the year refers to the longest night of the year. It was winter time which marks the longest night. The poet was watching the beauty of nature, so he was not in a depression mood. He was not in a depressing state of his mind. A 4-line stanza is called a quatrain. How many quatrains are there in the poem? There are 4 quatrains in the poem. Now let's have a post-reading activities. Yes, arrange the following sentences in their logical order to narrate the theme of the poem. He passes by the woods which are lovely, dark and deep. The poet is riding his horse to a destination, but he remembers that he has promised to keep before he can rest. It is snowy and the wind blowing gently. The beauty of the wood tempts him to stop and enjoy the sight. It is an evening in winter. So, The answer is first one is F. Just 1 minute. First one is F. F. Yes, F. Next one is D. Next one is B. Next one is A. Next one is E. Next one is C. So first read F. It is an evening in winter. Then D. It is snowy and the wind blows gently. Then B. The poet is riding his horse to his destination. Then A. He passes by the wood. He passes by the wood. He passes by the wood which are lovely, dark and deep. Then C, that is, but he remembers that he has a promise to keep before he can't. Left E. Next E, the beauty of the wood tempts him to stop and enjoy the sight. And the last one is C. Again let's write the order. Yes, just 1 minute. The order is like this. What is the order? Yes. F, D, B, A. F, D, B, A, E, C. E, C. Okay. So this is the order. Next one is note the rhyming scheme in the first quatrain. It is A, B, A. No, though, here, snow. What is the rhyme scheme in other quatrains? The other quatrains you can understand A, B, B, A, B, A, B, A, B, A, then A, B, A, then A. Right? So these are the things we mark in the poem. If you study the poem, you can understand it. So now let's move to the poem to know the rhyming pattern. Yes. Yes. Here is the first quatrain. No, though. So no rhymes with though. So this is A. Then he will not see me stopping here to watch woods fill up with snow. Could understand? So here A, B, right? It rhymes with it and rhymes with it. Could understand? So it is called A and A. It is different, so it is B, it is A. Next, just 1 minute. Yes, this one. So, queer near. This is A. This is A. Leg different, so it is B. Ear. So queer rhymes with near and near rhymes with ear, so it is A. And pattern is A, B. Next, he gives his harness bell sake, A, sake, to ask if there is some mistake. A, it does not rhyme, so it is B. So up is wind and snowy fake. So sake, mistake, fake, all rhyme, so it is A. So the pattern is A, B. Now let's do what? The last one. The rhyme pattern of the last one. The woods are lovely, dark and deep. A, right? A. But I have a promise to keep. A. And miles to go before I sleep. B. And miles to go before I sleep, that is B. The pattern is double A, double B. That is, with this, that is the end of today's lesson. We shall discuss the other lessons of plus 2 first year English in our next class. Till then, bye. Thank you.